For a creative shock.
A creative shock.
A creative shock.
Social business. Creative shock.
Every idea starts as a spark. A single thought that business can do more than earn profit, that it can change lives. Over the years, Creative Shock has brought together thousands of young changemakers, dreamers, doers, and innovators, united by one goal: to build a world where creativity meets purpose. From the first brainstorming sessions to global finals, we've shared sleepless nights, breakthrough moments, and the courage to think differently. Together, we've challenged the idea of what business can be. Each year, new ideas are born. Each project leaves an impact, empowering communities, transforming organizations, and inspiring the next generation of leaders. But Creative Shock is more than a competition. It's a movement built by students, fueled by creativity, and driven by passion for social change. This is where it all comes together. New challenges, new ideas, new impact.
Wow, it's really nice to see all of you here. Good morning, how are you doing? Welcome to our annual Creative Shock conference. It's time to shock. So I hope that you will be, maybe not shocked, but that you will hear some interesting thoughts today. Hi everyone watching us through Žinių Radijas broadcast as well. So you can also wave to the camera if you wish. We're filming this conference. You can find it on Žinių Radijas YouTube account. Creative Shock has been alive for 15 years, and this conference is the cherry on top of Creative Shock every year. So I will talk more about the agenda and everything that we're gonna listen to, that we're going to experience here today. But first of all, before everything, before the start of this conference, I would like to invite here the father and the founder of Creative Shock, without whom none of us would be here. And today, in this Creative Shock competition in 2025, we have teams from Serbia, from India, Indonesia, from Lithuania, from USA. It's a global movement, but without the founder of it, none of us would be here. So, please warmly welcome Tomo Montvilo.
Hello. Thank you. Very high praise. I wouldn't call myself a father, but yeah. Thanks everyone who came to the conference. As you can see, this is the 15th year of this event, and Lydia, the project manager, wrote me and said, like, look, it's an anniversary, can you come in and share some wisdom or some words of wisdom? And you know, even after 15 years, I don't feel that I have too much wisdom to share, because the world is changing so fast. But I wanted to maybe share the origin story of the event, and how it was created, and maybe that'll help you better understand how big and important this event is, not only for social business, social organizations, but for ISM and students here. The event was initiated in 2011 when I was, I think, a second-year student here at ISM. And I was a big fan of business case competitions. I think some of you are part of business case clubs, right, and something like that. So we formed our own business case club. We went through many case competitions here in Europe, and I really enjoyed the experience, right? The camaraderie, the kind of this let's work together on a problem, and as well networking, right, with people from different backgrounds with different experiences. But the events always felt a bit empty, right? So for those who maybe this is not the first business case competition, probably solved some business cases related to banks, right? To financial institutions, telecoms, right? And it's cool, but it's sort of boring. It never felt like I made a big impact, right? Or like, and of course, as a young person, my ideas are the best, right? And they should have the biggest impact. So, after this sort of experience, again, big thanks or shout out to ISM. I had the chance to go on exchange to Singapore. And after this experience, I had the ability to join a social business accelerator in Philippines. And that's where the first interaction with social business as a concept. What I learned is that the concepts we learn at university felt like it could be used for more than, growing profits of a bank or faster growing telecoms or something like that. There was a purpose behind the action. And I really love the concept of this business, social business. So naturally, it's, hey, business case competitions, social business, and, Apple Pen, and let's make this one thing. And that's how the concept of Creative Shock was born. And when we started this for the first time, I didn't, expect too many participants, or I thought like, well, that's interesting for me. Let's see how it's gonna go. And one important piece of this ecosystem or this event was that we saw that social organizations and social businesses, which were already existing at that time, felt were maybe a missing piece in all of this event. Often it was that business students never looked at these organizations as potential employers, or even an interesting area or problem area to solve. And when we kind of started unraveling and saying, look, this social organization or this social business has very clear business problems where you could apply your knowledge you learn here in university, it kind of created a very interesting effect where both social business and organizations and business communities started to connect. And that's the point of this whole event is actually network, to connect. And the very important piece to it is that this is organized by students for free. And they're spending their weekends and summers, and that you would have a great experience. So big shout out to this year's organizers. Don't forget to say thank you to your mentors and buddies, right? And hopefully you'll have a great experience here. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Tomai. Probably one of the most important words is the impact and that we make. And today this conference is also all about impact. We're here to question things, to look at problems from new perspectives, and to learn about the change that actually matters. But without further ado, I would like to present the agenda of today. So it is pretty simple. We will have 3 speakers that will share their thoughts with you right now. After that, we will have a short 15-minute break just to chit-chat with each other, grab some snacks that we still have a lot of. And after that, we will have our second part of the conference, where we're going to meet also 3 speakers. So 6 speakers in total. We should end everything around 3 o'clock. And now, without further ado, I would like to invite our first speaker of the conference, who is the head of EY, They are actually our partners. Consulting division in the Baltic states. He will share how AI is transforming strategy creation and what leaders should prepare for next. So, ladies and gentlemen, please give a round of applause for Linas Dičpetris.
Hi all, nice to see you. My name is Linas. A lot of success to you all today. And let's dive into the topic of strategy. And obviously AI disrupting everything disrupts also strategy. I would like maybe to tell you a little bit around how that is happening, or maybe how that helps strategy process, and what you hopefully can today learn for your competitions. So first of all, maybe briefly what strategy is in its entirety, and some of you might have studied that. Hopefully that doesn't bother you too long, but I thought it would be useful to go over it so that we can then look at how specifically AI can impact strategy process. So when I teach strategy, I normally say if you remember one thing from the strategy, remember two things. One is ambition, and the second one is differentiation. So you want to make sure that you are bold and that people see you differently from the others for whatever reasons, right? So I think we often talk a lot about the design stage of the strategy, where we define all of those things, and that's something that obviously sets the path. But there, I think one of the key items to remember, and we will look into that into the next slides. But when you think about where you are going, it's also very important to think on how you get there, and that's the business model. That's how you will operate. What is the machinery of your business, and business model very often can make or break your differentiation. That's something that I would like you to remember as we talk forward, because I think business model is one of the key elements here to think about when we consider AI. Having designed the strategy, you need to make sure that you mobilize the organization, and that means you infect the organization with positive emotion around the strategy. You make sure that you split it down, fragment it into the eatable pieces that can achieve what you want to get to, and of course you need to think about what resources you are allocating to make sure strategy gets where it needs to get. So after the mobilization, obviously the other thing is to make sure that the organization is doing it, and that's no small feat. Normally, in my experience, 90% of the strategy success is actually execution. It's not the idea, it's how do we make sure it gets into real life. And that's a lot around discipline, around knowing what you are doing, around reacting to changes, making sure that you stay the course. And then, of course, there is this monitor and review, and I think that's, again, something that is quite interesting in the AI context, because we have much more information and data now to make sure that we correct the course as needed, and also test the scenarios, shift as needed, etc. So that's a brief overview of what strategy generally is. And now let's look into how AI can be used within that process. I think where it all started is with LLMs that came out a few years back now to learn interesting things about life, right? So I think so far still the biggest use case for AI is research. And there I think you will see some very interesting applications. If previously people would have spent a lot of time around trying to get reliable data to base their strategy on. Now there are models that actually will, with usage of prior surveys and interactions with people, will actually build quite reliable assessments of, for instance, willingness to pay for a product or willingness to consume a certain service. So these things are obviously getting more sophisticated, more advanced, and we'll see more of that coming through definitely as well. The other element which is getting more powerful with time is interpretation. So apart from just pulling data from, and shortening cycles of getting the data required, you also now are able, of course, obtain the interpretation of that data by the models. And I think some interesting examples of that would be a very quick reaction to, for instance, spikes on TikTok of different topics that would actually indicate to you some demand volatility that you could then react to relatively fast in your market actions, as a organization. Either you are business or you are social, it doesn't really matter. You still need to make sure that you are getting the attention. And then this even goes further to combine with things like weather data, mobility data from the phone's usage, and omni-channel approaches by the organization. So I think this kind of ability to interpret, ability to look into the adjacent spaces of your operations, obviously linking to the trend dynamics and what we call the weak signals in the market, allows you to kind of pull together and interpret much more things that was probably not that easy before and took really high-level experts previously. Thought partnering is something that relates to kind of being able to interact and get especially for kind of executives, for the higher level of decision makers in the organization, to get input on their decision making. And I think a good one here is that if you use Copilot with an organization, so that's Microsoft is pioneering some of these things, and we all can use it, but getting inputs in prior to kind of leadership meetings that would decide on the strategic shifts and directions from everything that's within the organization, from emails, from Teams meetings, from reporting, etc. You can kind of pull very good, valid, relevant, new insights that can help you actually in these deliberations. If I look at the next one, which is the simulation, then there I think obviously more complex models of AI are normally used. I'm mentioning scenario modeling. That's probably, if we say research inputs, then scenario modeling is the other big one that we are seeing. And for that, of course, you would like to go with more complex solutions. Agentic AI solutions very often integrate different agents together to obtain model outputs. But that is something that is really, really useful in the strategy plotting, because then you can try to guess the different directions, how the enterprise results are likely to be affected by the different changes in the environment or in your tactics within the enterprise. So that's really a big one and a very interesting one, and a very fast developing one, as well as more and more of the agent build-out is happening as we speak. And then last but not least, I guess, communication. There, I think what obviously in the way that we in our organizations, operations, reach out to clients, to employees with personalization, That's the same here. If you think about the need to communicate strategy, which is one of the biggest things normally, biggest challenges for any organization, to make sure that the full organization is aligned and are aware and acting in accordance with what you would like the organization to do in terms of traveling towards its ambition and goal. There, I think the kind of personalization of messages to different audiences, or even to different individuals, people, depending on their functions. Also, different kind of formats for different audiences is very easily achievable, of course, with the assistance of the AI model. So if you look kind of at these roles or scenarios, the 5 scenarios that the AI can be used in strategy context, then I think this is what we are seeing in terms of the impact that AI does on the enterprise within the strategy context. And then maybe the last thing I would like to tell you is when you actually have an organization, especially traditional organization that is not necessarily a startup, a new organization, how do you transition? How do you transform from this scenario of operating maybe without technology at all, or maybe with some basic technology, into heavy usage of AI. So we call it an AI-enabled transformation scenario. That is, how do you actually make sure that you are not just a casual user or accidental user as a company of AI, but you actually take the value out of it, the maximum value out of it that you can. So, there, I think, obviously, the first step is strategy. But even before strategy, there is the matter of the mindset, because I think the mindset, first of all, is being able to to think and to adjust yourself to this new world, new situation, and being, of course, first of all, open-minded about this, looking at AI as a large opportunity, a large new window, right, of the possibilities, and adapting to it. So that's the mindset, making sure that we go into this with consideration. By the way, a very important consideration there is that AI-enabled transformation is not just about technology. It's actually mostly about people rather than technology. That's the thing with technology very often, that we are overemphasizing the tech side of it. So having the mindset in place, of course, you need to make sure that there is a strategy that actually incorporates the AI into the operations, and make sure that we want to get most out of it throughout the whole enterprise, right? And by the way, when you actually think about the maturity of usage of AI, and that's important for strategy considerations, is that apart from the basic research that you can do on Gemini or ChatGPT, basically just looking at the external information, the data from external world, the next step is that you start to apply the agents that somebody else created outside of your organization, in your organization, on your data. The next one is you start to create the agents yourselves, the organization, right? The next one is you actually go into the multi-agent environment, the agentic AI, where you put together complex solutions that address your needs. And then maybe last, at least for now, is that you actually an AI-driven organization, which is your business model, which then means you're probably a tech organization to a big degree, right? And again, I'm emphasizing business model from what I mentioned previously. That's where we want to make sure and connect that the way you operate is changing, and the way you are interacting with the environment is fit for your purpose. So strategy. Now, the 4 elements there that you better think about when you actually think about maximizing the value or kind of making sure that you get out of the AI the maximum you can is of course, there is tech and data because of course AI eats data. That's its food, but it also operates on specific technology that is enabling it. But then also it is about people, it is about the risk, and it's about business model that can enable what you need to do. So I think just very briefly, when you kind of look at all of these elements, what I would like you to, again, to remember is that the key angle to transformation eventually is people, because that's the people that will either be skilled enough to use it or not, that will be careful enough to use it or not, that will transform the organization or not through their actions or inaction. We are still a little bit far away from organizations that are running without people. So that's one of the most important elements here when you think about AI-enabled transformation and strategy. Another very important thing that I think is being mentioned but maybe not paid attention to that much is the risk element of it, and kind of trusted AI and safe AI is one of the big topics of today. And of course, we all heard the horror stories about how AI can go wrong in terms of discrimination, in terms of the hallucination, and in terms of many other things that it might not do well, theft of information, etc. When we work with clients very often on this strategic transformation angle, and we consider what AI can do for them, very many of the organizations, first of all, are cognizant of the fact that if they are not careful enough, their proprietary data, something that they have maybe developed over decades previously, can very easily, if you are not being careful, can be very easily accessible through cloud sharing of information and models, learning from it to the others, to the competition, etc. So of course that's something that you need to think in terms of proprietary information, but also cybersecurity and many other things that come into play here as well. So risk element is one of the important angles there, and needs to be thought through in terms of how this whole process of AI usage in the strategy and operations has some guardrails and security. Then the last piece I would like to emphasize is the value orchestration, which is in the middle. But that's basically when we think about how the strategy, but also AI in strategy, can create value, we tend to think through kind of trying to define what that value is. And we all very clearly know, any enterprise will think, especially the profit-seeking enterprise, will think first of all about financial value, economic financial value. In the context of social business, I think we need to think broader, although even the profit-seeking business these days is also thinking broader, at least the ones that are looking at the longer-term business perspective. And in addition to financial value, there's other three elements of value that we would normally mention. So one is client value. So what value are we actually creating, including through AI and our strategy to our clients? And of course, that is where the differentiation comes into force. That's where we want to make sure that we are different and provide that value to our clients. But also we need to think about people value, and that we often maybe hear the client experience term, right? That's how we would like the clients to experience our company. Equally, we need to think through the employee experience, because with increasing shortages of employees in our lives, I think we need to make sure that what the employee goes through in the enterprise is also a differentiated experience. That's the people value. So client value, people value, economic value of finance, financial value we already discussed. And then finally, the fourth one is the big one, the societal value, is how do we contribute to the society. And that's, I think, the key message here when we think through this in the context of the social, non-governmental, and other types of enterprises that are not there just for profit. So that's the definition of value. We are seeing more of that coming through as an important kind of selection of value drivers together, even in the leading profit businesses, for-profit businesses. So hopefully that is where we are going to end up in the longer term with everyone. So to close it off, I think one last thought is if you think on how the strategy is impacted, on how the AI is is impacting the strategy, how strategy through AI is impacting the enterprise. What I would like you to remember is always think about people, about humans, about human-centric strategy, AI, and design. And that, I think, will normally bring you to the success. So thank you very much for your attention. Absolutely.
Yep, don't run away. We have some presents for you once again. Linas, Dičpetris, thank you very much. We're starting, kicking things off with very serious topics already. AI, its implementation and strategy. I hope your brain has warmed up. However, we're going to switch it up a little bit now. You will hear an inspiring story. Creative Shock participants, you will see something familiar because right now I will invite to the stage the founder of Šunys asistentai, in English that would be Assistant Dogs, NGO. And actually this was the social business that we had our first case in the online roundabout. So Creative Shock participants, you're definitely familiar, but yeah, I would like to invite to the stage the founder of Šunys asistentai, who will share how her anti-unicorn approach turned a meaningful idea into a real and lasting impact. So, please welcome to the stage Irina Liubertė and her assistant dog.
Okay. Okay, hello everyone. It's an honor to be here, especially that I am an alumni and working here at ISM as well. And yeah, so we will go from technology to dogs. Yeah, okay. And actually, I think it makes a lot of sense. Businesses were for a long time very human-centric and kind of not paying attention to what's around us. Technology, animals, and like other living and non-living beings is an important part of our work and businesses. So I'm really glad to be a part of it. So I didn't introduce myself. I'm Irina Liubertė. I'm the founder of Assistance Dogs in Lithuanian, Šunys asistentai. It's a non-governmental organization, first of all, a non-profit, which is putting forward the social side, and like, yeah, we all need businesses to support that anyways, but yeah, I will talk a little bit about that, yes. So, briefly, what are assistance dogs about? So, assistance dogs are the dogs specially trained for people with disabilities, and they perform certain tasks that ease in their daily lives, that like kind of compensate what disability doesn't allow them to do or makes it difficult to do. And what can we do? So, for example, guide dogs, you see on in the photo, one young future guide dog in Lithuania with his trainer, and he's showing a place to sit, training how to bring a person who doesn't have sight or have very little sight to somewhere to sit. And this is their main task, to be the eyes of the person, so where to go, and they usually know the main things like, oh, go to the shop, or like turn to the left, or like go to the bus, and etc. So they are serving to help the person to operate in the environment without enough sight. Other type of dogs are hearing dogs, for example, which are the ears of a person. So if a person cannot hear what is spoken to them, for example, they are called by their name, their child is crying, or etc. So dogs are taught to give all different kinds of signals and inform the person. Another type of dogs is mobility assistance dogs. They assist with various physical tasks when people have difficulty moving, like picking things from the floor, dressing up, opening the doors, and etc. Psychiatric dogs, and by the way, these become a thing popular after Vietnam War in the US, when there were many troops coming back to their native land traumatized. And for example, some of them wouldn't be able to go outside of their home or enter some room that they don't know. So the dog is the one who is helping them to feel secure. And for example, just simply maybe taught to go into that room where they're afraid to go around the perimeter, check. Actually, that's psychological, like check for bombs, right? Coming back, say it's safe, and like go in. And medical alert dogs, and this is a live example here. So medical alert dogs, they work with their smell. They are smelling us, our chemistry, which is changing when we are having certain medical events. So epilepsy, diabetes, migraine, cardiac things. So based on the change of the smell, they are trained to warn a person. And the person can, for example, just go to the safe place, not to fall down if they are fainting, take medicine, etc. And Aura is warning me about my medicine to take if I need before my strong pain episodes. And so I can know about it half an hour or an hour before that, and can take medicine. So she's saving my day with that. And so the company, right? Šunys asistentai, assistance dogs. What do we do? So we are disability advocacy. Advocacy means, basically in business, communication agency. We're talking to people, we're talking to businesses, we are talking to politicians to make certain things happen, solve certain social issues, and in our case, related to disability, and the issues related to assistance dogs. So we educate public, with various campaigns, and we cooperate with companies, which that's the side of our business is. We don't have much resources. Resources are hard to get, but I really love networking, cooperating. When the companies get the idea, when the companies get really and they also interested in getting a bit more socially responsible, for example, so they help with that. So they have resources, usually. Big companies have it easy. And for us, it is a very big thing that they help to do. Then we also educate organizations itself, go for workshops, consultancies, and etc. And for example, afterwards, companies may decide to educate all of their service workers, which front workers face clients, to be aware of what assistance dog is, and for example, not to forbid them to be in all the places, because for assistance dog to be able to help person, they have to be here. Right? And Aura, my assistance dog, also has to be here to be able to smell me and to help me, to warn me when she needs to. So it's looks like she's not working, but she does. She is working, and if she's not here, she cannot help. So that's why assistance dogs are always here with a person. Sometimes we could go without it. It depends, but normally we do with dogs. And that means in all the places, even non-dog friendly places, we have to be with a dog. And it causes quite a few issues. And policy work, so our Lithuanian laws are very fresh about assistance dogs. And like, yeah, very minimal. We're changing now, and actually very happy. Seimas just voted a few days ago to approve a project. And we're voting still waiting, but I really hope we are finally here with a much better legal background. And we're working in these like ministry working groups. Also, we do some standardization work on European level, participate in creating standards for you about assistance dogs, which would make people's with disability lives much better and easier when we travel, when the standards are unified across EU countries. And we do a bit of research, which I would like to be a better part of us, but still applying funds for projects and etc. This is like, yeah, it takes a little bit time. And yeah, so how did we start? Because this is something that I wanted to tell and to show our way of approaching the business. And there are many occasions, probably, but I chose to say one, which probably was one of the strong motivators to do something in this area. Is like around 2 years ago when I started going with Aura as my assistance dog everywhere, as much as I can. And you go to the shop, you want to just pick some vegetables, something like for your home, and you hear somewhere behind you, hey you, I don't want to scream into a microphone, but you hear it very loud, like, and not really polite. And that hey you is like, where are you going? And it's like, please leave a store with a dog. We're not allowing dogs. It's like, no, you just get out of here. Like, and it took a lot of nerves to do that. A lot of education here. And I thought, yeah, maybe that's something that I can do as an individual. I didn't have a company even yet. I started proactively approaching the managers of the companies, etc. Just try to do that work. You know, we didn't have law regulating in Lithuania yet then, but we had United Nations conventions and other international conventions that and yeah, I just was trying to bring the message as an individual. And one of the other things that I decided, okay, let's do some social media. I didn't do social media before. That was a bit of a challenge for me. But yeah, from 300 friends, I grew a little bit because you have to grow in order to communicate and for message to reach to somebody. And I did some social media educational posts. I tried various ways how to approach the audiences, etc. And yeah, here we go. I don't know how. Yeah, besides social media, I also was talking to people, talking to students here at ISM, talking to our business partners, not really maybe thinking directly about, oh, I'm going into business, but thinking, okay, what can we do together? And yeah, one company said, you know, we want to support you. You continue educating, we have resources to support. So some of these resources actually went towards the Aura, like she's getting free food and like free veterinary care and etc., which is I'm really happy. But at the same time, I couldn't really receive the support as an individual. That was a bit of too large support. And like as serendipitous as it was, I thought, yeah, okay, I have to do a company. And the company is something that would help me to approach businesses easier, more convincible, like as a representative of a company, not an individual. Okay, so I'm creating a company just to receive my first funding. Yeah, and let's go further. So where did we go then? I already had some invites to the events, so I said, yeah, you know, I will participate with Aura to represent assistance dogs, and I will represent my own company. Very well, exactly like kind of some other associations and organizations by saying like, you know, we need to do something about this, about the discrimination that's happening and all the problems that we're getting. We need to go forward with that because Lithuania is behind Europe and actually the world too. And we participated in that. We did some protest action here at Gedimino Street, going to the to our government. And yeah, it was just actually probably 50 people. But after that, right away, what we got is to create a working group for these questions at the Ministry of Social Affairs. And also I was putting and still putting myself in the shoes of the disabled persons. I can't put in the shoes of everybody, like even with different disabilities, but I myself have disability. It is invisible. And that's one of the things I also strongly working about. You know, disability is not something that you see. Sometimes you see certain signs. It could be. Physical disability could be very obvious, sometimes not. And by the way, if you see a person with an assistance dog, don't ask him, do you train the dog? I'm always, like I'm really frequently asked. It is pretty awkward when I say like, no, I have a disability and it's my dog. So I'm working about these assumptions which we often have about invisible disabilities. And I love working with companies, as I already probably told. And this is a photo of me traveling to Sweden to assistance dogs training facility. And we also met with government representatives who are enabling these assistance dogs to reach the person. And in Sweden, for example, we are funded. At least some of them are funded to people. We don't fund them yet. Keep fingers crossed from next year. If a law is passed, we will be able to already do that. And also ideate. So I kind of feel, at this moment, I don't call my company a business yet even, because we are in the process of creation. We put that social side and doing an impact forward. And I cared to do something about the issues that we have in Lithuania, and actually more than in Lithuania. And I'm kind of learning the market, what's going on, what's needed. And I am testing here and there about what really would be needed for our market. And I love ideating with students. I also started like from one hackathon where students solved a case. And by the way, they won the first place. I was very happy about them. And their solution for our business side was really nice. And I know some of you worked on our financial side as well. And yeah, I already told that. By the way, this is one of the things that's coming up. I hope December 1, we finally will start selling the book about assistance dogs. And it's a story. It's again, what we wanted to tell, like we don't want to be boring. We don't want to be just, you know, you have to do this, you had to do that. We want just to engage people, to participate, to be in that network of socially responsible people. And these are dogs, you know, the prototype for one of them here, the golden retriever. And we have this also, like we have a guide dog. And yeah, to summarize, so you know unicorns, we know that very well. And we actually work a lot on the presumption, on the assumptions of business has to reach the heights, be speedy, agile, elusive, react to markets, blah, 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 to changes. Technology is changing so fast. It's really difficult to catch up. But in my own company, I try. Well, actually, I am very slow. And thanks to disability, it helps me to be slow, actually. And down to earth. What we can do now, small things we can do. And I really want to do those small things and not really try to catch some illusion that I don't know if it ever happened. So in this regards, network, I really very visually see the network as such. And I think maybe the word even not that, but it's like a pancake around the Lithuania where I have people who are also interested, who care about similar things like us, abroad too. And it's not about heroic actions. Also, social value is in front of that. It's not like I'm creating the business and I'm thinking, okay, what small social we can do? How can we add that social responsibility? It feels for me not really true to me. And I try to think about business, which is an additive to my company, non-governmental company, bringing social value, and then the business supporting that sustainably. So, as I mentioned, sustaining, not scale chasing. Yeah, in certain ways you have to scale to earn, but I always think, okay, how well it's gonna help me to sustain over time. And sustainability-wise, I also think we are talking a lot about things, materials, plastic cups, etc. Sustainability is not only that. People, all living beings, are part of that too. And I think we are often forgetting that, and it's like something that I want to bring forward. And also, I work on the iterative and inductive manner, which means I observe a lot. And not getting some idea from my head and trying to test. But no, I observe and try to create these ideas from the observation, get to test a little bit and go back to thinking, ideating, and and that's slow, yes, I know, but I think we're gonna get somewhere at some point. And by the way, just fun part, you noticed, our company name is not so very creative, right? Just assistance docs. The history behind it, yes, yeah, it just at some point said, yeah, I can't think about it anymore. Just we do these two words and launch. But it worked very well in marketing-wise. People find us very easily. I didn't have to work a lot on that. So that's a good side. So thank you very much, everyone. I'm really happy to be here. I hope you learned something. Thank you. Come. Ada. Lino, good girl.
Irina and Aura. Thank you for this. I thought of 3 words: educational, inspirational, and really warm presentation. So thank you for that. Before yapping anymore, I would like to invite the third speaker, the last speaker actually before our break, also from one of our partners who is actually a senior talent development specialist at Moody's and also an ISM alumna. And she will talk what it means to lead with integrity when everything around you is transforming and changing. So, ladies and gentlemen, Miglės Šerelytės.
So, hello everyone. How are you doing? Hey. So lovely to see some of you again. It was wonderful to lead some of the workshop. I hope the energy is still there and you're ready for some more. So I'm really pleased to be at Creative Shock and pleased to be partnering with that. But before getting to my content, I really want again to take a moment and appreciate ISM Student Association for making all of this happen. Such an incredible crowd of talented and dedicated individuals. And you know, if something looks so perfect, that means that probably there's a lot of hard work behind it. For example, if you see on TV professional ice skaters, looks like, wow, how do we glide so gracefully? Well, if you get on the ice yourself, you surely realize that actually it would take a lot of practice and hard work to make something so smooth. So again, heads down to ISM SA and all ISM community. So I am representing Moody's company, and we are truly happy to be partnering with Creative Shock for years now. It is a privilege to be part of such an important initiative, and we really hope that the connections that you make today, the ideas that you spark today as well, they will have long-lasting impact way far beyond this weekend. So really looking forward to that. So a little bit about myself. So as you know, my name is Miglės Šerelytės. I'm Lithuanian. For 10 years, I lived abroad and gathered all the various experiences. Now I live in Lithuania with my lovely dog Sherman, with my partner. Today I came with my sister, who actually has birthday today, so thank you for supporting me here. Besides my work, I also have my sports association where I'm developing new sport in Lithuania, which is definitely tough, but very challenging. But today I want to talk a little bit more about my work and what I do at work, because I think it's a very interesting concept that I do. I love my work, yeah, absolutely. So my work is to develop leaders, meaning that we are constantly looking what leaders need today to empower their teams, to drive the business. And we're also looking what leaders will be needing tomorrow, meaning like after 5 years, after 10 years, and how to supply them with the skills and qualities needed for the future. So with all that, because we need to face with transformation and we need to cope through transformation. And you're also probably here because you want to create a change. You want to create a positive impact. You want to, maybe enable some communities and do good for the world. So the secret to that is leading with integrity. And probably for some of you, this content that I speak today may look a little bit far distant. But don't worry, you will certainly have situations in your life where you will need to make decisions. And I hope you will be choosing on what is doing right over what is doing easy. So let's take a little bit more about transformation. So it's good news, it's very positive that we all want to make change. We all want to make transformation. We want to make a positive in the world. But there are bad news to that because most of transformations fail. So good luck with that. So we want to avoid that. Research says, for example, McKinsey, that 70% of transformations fail, and it is to do because of people and trust issues. It's not to do with technology and funding. PwC adds to that 55% of leaders say that lack of trust is the main reason why transformations fail. So, okay, we see now that it also has been cited very well by Lino that people is at the center when it comes to transformations. But maybe if it's so risky that, my transformation failed, can I avoid transformation altogether? And again, bad news, because you cannot avoid the transformation. For example, I really love the statistic. Average lifespan of S&P 500 companies has dropped from 61 years in '58 to 18 years today. So the shrink is really significant, and it's going to be shrinking even more. Because we are facing with constant change, and change is now the normal environment that we are all living. It's not a project anymore, it's a constant being that we all will need to face. So first, and it has been talked about that a lot, there's digital shift. So agentic AI solutions, all the artificial intelligence technology, they are accelerating the way we work, and we will have more collaboration and more influence of that more and more. Okay, that sounds a lot, but that's not it. We also have sustainability pressure, meaning that to protect our planet, there are sustainability requirements. And there are a lot of new regulations. And that means that all of this is expecting that we as humans in this world, we need to change the ways we act, and change the ways we behave, and change the ways we think. So that will also enable additional layer for change. Okay, that looks a lot, but that's not it. We also have uncertainty, meaning that there is geopolitical situations and macroeconomical shifts, and all means that we have to stay on our toes. So change is something, and transformation is something we cannot avoid. Good thing is that also research backs that when we lead with integrity, actually that's when we build trust, and that's when we can cope with transformation. So now when you think leading with integrity, sounds so big, sounds so complex, what is integrity and how do I address that? Well, integrity is actually, it's a common element in the field of leadership, but it has three very simple steps to that. So it has ownership, empathy, and transparency. And even at Moody's, our core value that we would never ever, we would never let down is uphold trust for integrity. So that value is also keeping us, and we hope it will keep us going further even more. So ownership means that when you're being leading with integrity, you own on the things that you do, on the decisions that you make, and the impact of your decisions, good, but also bad. Empathy, it also speaks that you are working with people. So you always need to think what it would feel for them, what this transformation or change, how it will be feeling for them. And transparency is, again, that you're sharing the things that you know, but you're also being clear about the things you don't know. It's not about being perfect, it's about admitting where you are and where you're trying to go. So if you apply these behaviors, the outcome of that is very good. This is what you want to have. First is you establish trust. And trust is the most important currency of nowadays. When you have communities that trust you, partners that trust you, then you can really have sustainable business. Also, integrity gets to come to better decisions. When you are clear on your values, then it will drive you to make decisions when you are in a stressful situation. And another positive impact when you are leading with integrity is psychological safety. Anyone heard of this term before? Can I see? Okay, a little bit, perfect. So psychological safety means that this creates an environment where people can speak up if something is wrong. It means that you can share the good things, the bad things, and it's a transparency in the environment. And the outcome of that is actually innovation. And innovation also something that is important, and many big organizations falling back because we maybe don't keep up, or maybe first we watch. So psychological safety actually is a key element supporting innovation. So again, just repeating, what is integrity? It's ownership, empathy, transparency, and what it translates to: trust, better decisions, and psychological safety. I would like to share some tools that we use at Moody's, and I think they are such a simple tools that could be used in any kind of environment, especially if you want to make a change. So there is the ADKAR model. It's not Moody's model. It is by the company called ProSci. And if you want to make change, this ADKAR model is very easy to follow. So I will use hypothetical situation. Let's suppose that you want in your community to create a recycling innovation. You want your community to recycle, just like that. So let's walk through ADKAR like that. First is awareness. So you need to think. Your community needs to understand why it is important to recycle. So we all need to understand, why it's good to recycle. Okay, maybe now we understand. Then let's go to desire. Desire means but do we want to recycle? So this is when you need to start talking to them in their language. What is it in there for them? Why would we want to recycle? Because you need to say what is good for them. For example, the cleaner neighborhood, the value of the profit in that area would increase. maybe more investments, better kindergarten, and like a better childhood for kids, but you really, really need to speak in their language. Why we should recycle and why would they want to recycle, because what would be the outcome for them. Okay, so let's say that they know it's important, now they want to do it, but it's still not enough. Now you need to apply knowledge. Knowledge means that you need to teach them how to properly recycle, how it gets done. Okay, sounds good. Now we move next. Ability means that there should be an environment of resources to support this operation, meaning that there should be recycle bins, maybe some support number, but it should be the whole infrastructure to make this happen. Because if we know how to do it, then still how we do it if there are no bins, just simple like that. And last but not least, you don't want this to be a one-time change and it finishes. You want it to be sustainable. So you need to do that through reinforcement, and you can be as creative with that, but it a lot goes to positive feedback, championing, encouraging, celebrating milestones, and things like that until it becomes normal. So I already mentioned the second one. What is it? WIIFM. What's in it for me? So it means that when you are approaching maybe new partners, I don't know, your teachers, or you're going to, you ask for funding, whichever, or you want to do maybe a new business, why would someone help you? Why would someone support you? Why would someone mentor you? So you really need to state plainly for each group in their language. Because people do things for the things that they care and they value. So you need to really be transparent, what we get from that, what we will not get from that, and what would be the trade-off. Another very, very simple thing that you all can do is 360 feedback. And I'm actually leading this initiative at Moody's. So this is your reality check. Because very often, when you have a best intention, but maybe you miss out some behaviors, you overrush, and it can transform into really completely opposite impact. So 360 is a sort of survey where the same set of questions you ask for your partners, for your colleagues, for your managers, maybe for your classmates, for the broader community. And then you will be able to see where is a gap in the perception, where is a gap in your objectives, and really act on it. And then again, if you show to the community that the feedback you heard, you appreciate, and you worked on that again just shows the good thing for building trust. I also want to show you a small moment of reflection. And this is something that we all can apply. Because integrity doesn't say, you don't say that, okay, from today, integrity is happening, and that's it. So integrity doesn't happen one day. Integrity is something what happens daily. So as you're shaping yourself as a person, as you're shaping yourself as what you're standing for your values, for where you're addressing your energy, use this integrity filter. So first one is, what are your values in plain words? Like, what do you really believe, stand for, and what do you want to fight for? What is what you're really, truly connecting to? The second one is what as your team, maybe now for the ones who would be pitching tomorrow, red lines. Means that the things that you would never do, the things that you would never, ever compromise, is a no-go for you. So you also need to clarify that. Also, you need to have a clear idea who you would call when you have a problem. And that would be not a person, but the role, because persons are changing, but the roles are staying the same. So you really need to identify, who you would be calling for what type of situation. AI, we touched a lot on that, but from Moody's, I can also say that responsible use of AI is extremely important, so you do not derail from that. So also define with your team where you use AI, where you don't use AI, where it's must to add human loop to that, and what would be approved tools that you would be using. And then the last but not least, as you are compiling your wisdom, as you are gathering your experience, you will be logging key decisions. So the decisions, you log what you did, and then you see the outcome you take. But you also log your lessons. And it's completely fine to make mistakes, to make lessons. If you do the first time, it's a mistake, it's a lesson. So if you make a mistake for the first time, it's a true lesson. But then if you repeat again, it already becomes a mistake. So whenever you get the lessons, record it, be transparent about them so you don't repeat them again. So of course, I need to ask you something, because these are just like nice theory words, nice things that work. It is tested and proven, but unless you make it to yourself, unless you really make it yours, it doesn't make sense. So my call to action here is make your personal commitment. Next time when you're going to look for a job, or come up and need to make decisions as a team, say what is the trust action you would be doing. Will you be very candid about the feedback, or you will be very transparent, or what action you will do to show trust? Because again, trust is something what will empower any transformation that you will be creating. So the commitment that you will make today, it will be your legacy for tomorrow. So at least define from today, what do you stand for? Like, what is it you really believe, and what do you stand for? So thank you very, very much for being here. I also want to say one more thing. So as you will be leading with integrity, you will be tested. And again, it is not about being perfect. It is about being honest about the good and bad to say. And C.S. Lewis said, integrity is doing something right even when no one is watching. Integrity allows you to create sustainable impact. So I wish you all to really, really stay grit, don't give up, stick to your true self. Do not forget the importance of integrity and trust, and I wish you all to create a long, long-lasting impact that we will all be very proud of you. So thank you, and wish you all the very best.
Thank you, Miglės. Well, thanks for your energy. Once again, Miglės Šerelytės, thank you. So, time flies. Actually, half of our conference has already passed. We're going to have a quick break now. Before that, I would like to say a thank you to our sponsors. So, of course, to Miglė from Moody's, who are our platinum sponsors. Also, to our silver sponsors, Oxylabs Cybercare, that you can see here. Also, we have Oxylabs cookies right at the registration desk. So, not cookies, I think it's waffles. So, feel free to enjoy them as well. And also EY, who is our not only the silver partner, but the intellectual partner as well. So yeah, we're gonna have a short break right now. Don't run away, because right after the break we're starting off with Skirmantas Malinauskas, and we're gonna have 3 more speakers. We're gonna focus more on the social impact probably, and the change that really matters. And talking about our break, we have coffee, we have tea, we have kombucha. Try that, especially international people if you haven't tried it yet. And we have our legendary ISM mini croissants. Those who know, they know. So go enjoy them. Those who don't know, go grab a mini croissant while they're still there. And see you in 10 minutes. Thank you very much.
For creative shock.
Creative shock. Creative shock.
Social business. Creative shock.
Every idea starts as a spark. A single thought that business can do more than earn profit, that it can change lives. Over the years, Creative Shock has brought together thousands of young changemakers, dreamers, doers, and innovators, united by one goal: to build a world where creativity meets purpose. From the first brainstorming sessions to global finals, we've shared sleepless nights, breakthrough moments, and the courage to think differently. Together, we've challenged the idea of what business can be. Each year, new ideas are born. Each project leaves an impact, empowering communities, transforming organizations, and inspiring the next generation of leaders. But Creative Shock is more than a competition. It's a movement built by students, fueled by creativity, and driven by passion for social change. This is where it all comes together. New challenges, new ideas, new impact.
So, welcome back. How were the croissants? Who has tried? Raise your hands. Who has tried the croissants? Okay, how was they? Yeah, they're good. They're really good. I think they're really good. Okay, welcome back to the second part. Without any further ado, let's rock with it. And I want to invite a very special guest now to the stage. A man who has worn many hats. A journalist, a minister, advisor, and now one of the leading and most inspirational, also influential YouTubers in Lithuania, Skirmantas Malinauskas.
Okay, can you hear me? It's great. First of all, thank you for this opportunity. I am sorry in advance. I will be probably worst English speaker guy you ever heard. So sorry for my mistakes and try to concentrate on the essence. Basically, I was asked to talk about social projects, about my business, how we help people, and I decided to talk a little bit different topic because this topic very often is the case of discussion when I am talking with different people. Basically, who I am, right now I am a YouTuber. We have more than 200,000 subscribers. We have more than 500,000 people watching us every month. And before that, I was advisor of Prime Minister. Before that, I was working on a team of investigative journalists. And actually, there was a time when, after my political career, I have to find a job. It's interesting because you have partners here. I was working in news radio and have very good connections, and you can hear me quite often in this media. Actually, I was sending my CVs to very different companies, Oxylabs too. We have conversation, but I was not able to go to the second level of joining the team. So I don't know how it would be different if that happened. This is the real example that if you refused somewhere, you basically can do something on your own. I decided to start my YouTube channel, and we decided to offer this business model. We do provide information, publicity, and legal help for people who are talking with us. And we do weekly videos. Right now, you see it's 235 videos published. We helped a lot of people, but we do not accept any donations, ad money, or something like that. It's only crowdfunded by the part of taxes. People can share taxes with us, and by Patreon platform, and we limit amount of money that we can get. So what I'm trying to say, very often I was asked, so it's basically a business, nothing more. And it is. Every single time I'm talking about different topics, I usually ask one question. We all care about only one thing. What is it? Maybe we all care about money because, it's wealth, it's freedom, we can do lots of stuff with money. Maybe we all care about love because, relationship is most important thing, family, whatever. Right now we are talking about peace. Maybe you care about peace on earth and things like that. But actually, real answer is we all care about only one thing alone, is us. When you try to solve any communication problem, when you try to talk with your audience, with your friends, you have to understand this, and this will solve a lot of, or big part of all the questions you have. Sad truth is when you're talking with your friend, you are interested in your friend only as much as it is related with you. And it's similar thing vice versa when you're talking with your business partner, whatever. So I would state that obviously you can disagree, but my idea is almost everything we do from pure selfishness. Now, I tried to define what is selfishness, and this is ChatGPT answer, is the attitude or behavior of putting your own needs, desire, or interest first. And I would argue that this is the case for all of us, and there is a second part, at the expense of others with little or no regard of how your action affects them. And I would argue that it's not the case in basically all the time. So when I try to explain what I am doing, right now we have annual budget of 400,000, and it's purely from crowdfunding. I'm saying that when you are helping others, first of all, what you are doing, you are helping yourself, your team, and you are getting rewarded for that. I will not go into you can read, I will not quote every single text that is on a screen, but we are in a competition as any other business. For example, when you are on YouTube, you have to count your views, you have to count your audience, you have to count your budget, how much you get your money, because if you are not able to pay salary for you or for your team, you will not be able to be in this competition. But this is different kind of competition than in a regular business, and this is different kind of motivation because you have different rules. So when we are talking about social business, when we are talking about helping others, very often I hear people saying that, we are trying to help others, we are trying to change world, we are trying to be, almost saints, but my idea is a little bit different. Usually, when you start to talk with those people, you ask, so why are you here? Why are you in this company or in this field? Maybe it's career, maybe it's a networking, communicating with other people, finding new friends, maybe it's financial gains, you can travel, you can get financial rewards, your personal growth, maybe it's a purpose or meaning you are looking for, and it's all gifts for you, it's all rewards for you. I thought maybe there is such things as altruism. Again, I asked what it is, helping others without expecting anything in return. And I think that this is only in theory. It's almost impossible to imagine a situation when you are getting nothing in return. For example, would you be more likely to help your relatives or strangers? Very simple question. If you are altruist and you hoping nothing in return, probably it would not be such a big difference, but in reality, we always think about ourselves first. How important is social approval or reputation for you? This is a very big topic to discuss when you are in a business that is related with helping other people, because you have to have good reputation yourself. If you are solely depend on people you are helping, if you are in a situation where people start to doubt you, your intentions, or you are doing something shady, your business will be ruined very, very fast. It's not selling something, it's not fixing some other people's problems, on the internet or something like that. It's a little bit different situation. When you do something good, are you expecting something in return for yourself, and what kind of reward you can expect? For example, you are dealing with people who are grateful for your help. We had many situations like that. It would be very long. It would take a lot of time to tell the story. But for example, we have a story about a police officer who was in jail, and because he was on duty, I mean, he was falsely accused, and we took him out of the jail, and it took a lot of money in legal services and a lot of effort and time. Right now, he's working as a police officer. We had so many, corruption schemes, Ponzi schemes, financial scams, and victims that are, first of all, we are talking about that, but then we are trying to protect those victims. And you think we are doing that like altruists. We are trying to help those people, but obviously, I always say that to the people we are talking, when we help people, basically, we are building our business model. So you have more successful cases, you have more people that support you, we have more stories to cover, we have more topics to choose from, and basically you are becoming stronger, and it is 100%, you are selfish in that regard. Some use term feeling good business. I mean, I think it's very, very good term because I was involved in many projects when the war in Ukraine began. We went to Ukraine 6 times with aid, with different goals, and I saw how many people were participating and donating money then, and how little people are doing that right now. And I understand that this is purely emotional thing. I mean, if you look logically, probably right now, Ukraine is not even in the war situation, and you probably have to donate even more. But when you do something, you think that you make your duty, you feel good, and then you want very fast result. If this result is not achieved, you simply decide that, good emotions are not enough for you, and you find something else to do. There is a big difference between pleasing others and helping others. Again, this is a topic I want to talk. We are facing many, many situations where people in our heroes of our stories, they are basically demanding or asking things that are very, how to say that? For example, they want to have super big legal help to start 10 legal cases at once for a very small thing, and we have to say, we have to count all the cost, we have to count what is efficient, what is not. We have to measure your problem against other people's problem, and we have very intense situations sometimes. So basically, what I'm trying to say, if you are in a business that you are dealing with people in need, you have to be called rational, logical sometimes. You obviously heard about blue water and red water strategies. I mean, there is a thinking that in blue water, fish help each other. They live, they are not predator fish. It's a safe environment, and every single study shows that when you are one of those blue fishes, you are very, very happy. So the question is, why we're not living in the blue waters? There is a red water strategy where everybody is fighting everybody, and it's business is sometimes working this way, that we are competing against each other in career, in share of market or something like that. So what is the problem? If we all think and know that blue water strategy is more efficient, why we are not living in this strategy? The short answer is, if you put one predatory fish into blue water becomes red water. So what I'm trying to say is different businesses, different activities. I do that, for example, my YouTube channel for 6 years. I saw many, many stories, and we covered a lot of stories. What I see, it's like it takes one person, one company that start to broke the rules. It takes one person who starts to be corrupt in a government institution. It takes one person who is crossing the line when you are waiting for the coffee, and you say, okay, it's not blue water anymore. We have to compete, we have to punish because it's unfair. Or if he is not punished, you start to think if he is taking bribes, and he can drive a good car, and he can live in a good house, and he is not punished for that, maybe I will do the same. Maybe this is the case. So that is why you can look all over the world, and you will see that we are living in a society that is a little bit, dangerous, that is a little bit unfair, that is a little bit far from blue waters. Being selfish is normal. When you do any kind of business, when you do any kind of activity, you always think about yourself first. Having personal goals and ambitions is normal. You can say different things publicly, but every single time, first of all, you think about your own career, you think about your own family, you think about your own well-being. Protecting yourself and your family is normal. Remember, there are blue waters, we all live in red waters. So what I'm trying to say, and what I try to say with this presentation is that we are talking a lot about motivation, we are talking a lot about good stuff, but generally, when you want to build business, you have to think about, or any structure, any company, even if this company is, for example, funded from some government institutions, whatever, you have to think yourself, first of all, how to build strong foundation for that, and you are strong foundation. So if you are financially in a good situation, when you are protected, when you know that you, first of all, can protect yourself. I had many legal cases where I have to protect myself first, and only after that I can protect others. It is normal. So what I try to say, basically finishing this short topic, and if there is any question I can answer, is that we all selfish human beings, and we don't have to be ashamed of that. And if we do something, we always, first of all, think about our own needs. It's not maybe things you hear publicly said, but you intuitively feel that, I think, all the same. That's pretty much it. If you have one or two questions, I can answer that. If not, let's proceed. Oh, selfish gift, it's you think I was here for you? No, for this.
Thank you, Skirmantas Malinauskas. I think the amount of your applause is pretty big thing as well. But moving on to our fifth speaker, now I would like to invite the founder and project manager at Lygiosios, also a career diplomat at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Lithuania. She is going to talk on how to embrace education and how to strengthen, it's a very hard word to pronounce, strengthen probably, yeah, make women community stronger. So, let's give a big round of applause, Deimantė Jakubovskytė.
Hello, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Deimantė Jakubovskytė, and I am the founder of Lygiosios. Like Skirmantas, I would like to state in the beginning that I have some shortcomings. So public speaking is not, unfortunately, one of my many talents. Just be here with me and try to ignore my mistakes. I am glad to be here at Creative Shock because just like Creative Shock that champions social innovation, Lygiosios also tries to tackle and solve pervasive social problems. And it requires more than just ambition and goodwill. It also demands innovation, creativity, and structured action. Let me start by trying to shock you a bit with some hard facts. 77% of Lithuanians have encountered sexual harassment. And this is a study done by 3 Lithuanian researchers. And it includes all kinds of sexual harassment, such as stalking, staring, groping, catcalling, comments of sexual nature, and so on. And what's more important, that 80% of those do not report. Meanwhile, in the European Union, we see that gender-based violence is a pervasive problem there as well. 1 in 3 have been subjected to gender-based violence. And actually, globally, it's not different. The latest numbers from a World Health Organization show that 1 in 3 women globally have been subjected to intimate partner or non-partner sexual violence, or both. What I'm trying to say with those facts is that the problem is global, and it's not just statistics, but it's actual lives and experiences of millions of women whose safety, health, and dignity are compromised every day. So Lygiosios started as a direct response to the social inequalities, focusing on gender-based issues. As an NGO, our mission is twofold: empowerment for those affected and those who want to contribute and join the movement, and systemic change through education, advocacy, and community building. Today, I'm here to show you how our nonprofit organization is driving impactful system-level change by tackling fundamental pillars of inequality. I have distinguished 3 pillars of gender equality ecosystem because gender inequality is not abstract. It shows up in everyday inequalities, and each pillar here represents one of areas where we see that gender inequality still persists. And by tackling all of 3, we make sure that no part of the problem is left behind. These pillars give clarity to our work. They guide our priorities, how we plan our events and initiatives. And the first pillar is, I think, the one that we focus on the most, because gender-based violence is still often normalized, dismissed, or minimized. Thus, Lygiosios pays a lot of attention to safety, and it includes and is not limited to intimate partner violence, sexual violence, online abuse and digital violence, sexual harassment, and the everyday normalization of sexism. At its core, this pillar represents the freedom to live without fear and without violence. This is not just a personal issue. It's a failure of our public and community culture. And the constant feeling of unsafety is a massive social burden carried mostly by women. The second pillar addresses rights and freedoms, which should be the backbone of any democratic society. And it includes sexual and reproductive rights, bodily autonomy, political representation, and legal protections. So, in short, agency, autonomy, and equal standing under the law. Yet, significant gaps still remain. For example, in Lithuania, we still haven't ratified the Istanbul Convention, which is the main and key human rights instrument to ensure and strengthen protections against gender-based violence. And the last but not least, equal opportunities is focused on structural conditions that allow people to thrive. This includes equal pay, economic justice, recognition of unpaid care work, access to childcare, education, and leadership opportunities. Equal opportunities means ensuring fair access to resources, careers, and decision-making, so that gender no longer determines your success and your life's chances. Systemic bias restrict talent and economic growth of any nation. Back to us, I want to present our team. I founded Lygiosios in 2023, right before the start of my master's program. At first, it was just 5 of us who were trying to shape our vision, our path, our face of the organization. And now there are 10 of us, all from different professional backgrounds, which adds to our mix of perspectives and different skill sets to the organization. We work horizontally, and all decisions are based on consensus. So even the organization inside is kind of feminist rule, if I can say that. And recently we also had 4 volunteers join us. And it's kind of funny to see volunteers because we actually all work on a voluntary basis. We don't have any kind of income, just donations for organizing the events. Our vision and mission. So Lygiosios envisions a future in Lithuania where women's experiences and needs are visible, prioritized, and understood in all areas of society. We strive to create a safe, welcoming space for feminist activism and collective empowerment. We commit to securing women's safety and advancing gender equality through grassroots activism, social media, and community building, because that is what we mostly do. And we don't just highlight problems. We are working towards building lasting solutions, and our strategy hinges mostly on 2 core pillars. Firstly, data for systemic change, and secondly, education and action. I want to present to you Safe City app. In 2024, we started working with the global organization Red Dot Foundation, and they have this initiative called Safe City, and we are the ambassadors of Safe City in Lithuania. Safe City is a technology in an app that creates violence hotspots on a map. So if you open the app, you can see a map of the whole world, and it allows you to see the problem locations, and also you can see that there are reports everywhere in almost every country, not just Europe. And this information generates essential data that is easily accessible for everyone, can be used for advocacy, urban planning, community awareness campaigns, and so on. So this is crucial for our upcoming lobbying efforts next year. It is also usually helpful when traveling. So if you're in a new country, you can open the app and just see which kind of locations, for example, at night are less safe. And it actually helped me as well. When I was living in the Netherlands, I started using the app, and I was going late from a bar back home. And I opened the app and I saw there was a new report of a man in a psychosis with a knife harassing women. So I skipped the shorter way home and went through another street. So I encourage you to start using, or at least to check it out. You can download the app, you can check their website, and there's a report form that we translated to Lithuanian, and the QR leads you right there. And the second pillar, education and action. So here you can see pictures from our events. We try to shift the narrative from how to avoid danger into how to demand and create safe and equal environments. So we try to create safe spaces through our events as well. We do workshops and pop-ups a lot. These are interactive sessions where people learn about gender stereotypes, consent, boundaries, and the realities of gender-based violence. The first picture is from a pop-up we had at daytime dance event Vajus, and we had discussions with participants about nightlife, safety, about gender equality, and we had quizzes as well. The second one is from a summer festival, Vajus, which is actually kind of big in Lithuania. šaknis, sorry, not vajus. We had a workshop where you can make your own bracelet, and this kind of got all of the people there to make bracelets, but we tricked them. We also talked about gender equality and safety at summer festivals. And the third one was one of our first at Kaunas City Festival Audra. And we had a lot of old and young women and men and children as well, talking about safety, how can we create and contribute to safer cities. Physical empowerment. We host self-defense and practical safety trainings. We already had 3, 2 in Kaunas and 1 in Vilnius. And these are led by Anela, our colleague. She recently joined the team as well. She's a Muay Thai trainer, and after the workshops, we usually gather in a circle, talk about our experiences, our feelings, and we talk about how we can feel safer every day. And it gives individuals confidence, skills, and sense of ownership over their own bodies and their space. Awareness trainings and public events. We teach about harassment, bystander intervention, which is tactics of how you can intervene when you see sexual harassment, how you can help the victim, and digital safety, how to create respectful and inclusive communities. These are some of the things that we talk in those events. And the events help bring these conversations into the open and safe spaces, and also leads to change through dialogue. These community gatherings are not just meetups. They're about creating a stigma-free environment where women can share, learn, grow. And the first event we had was an art event last year in Vilnius. We had 6 young female artists who brought their own paintings, and afterwards we had a discussion with them, an open discussion where they were sharing what it feels to be a young female artist. Second one was a discussion with the Lithuanian Deaf Association, where deaf women were sharing their experiences, their thoughts, and difficulties that they have to overcome every day. And the last but not least is our For Girls Only dance event, which we first had on the 8th of March this year. It happened in Kaunas, and we had over 150 girls coming to the dance. So the staff was women, the DJs were women, and all of the participants were female as well. And this, I think, is one of the best examples of how women coming together can create a safe and supportive atmosphere for everyone. And on that note, I would like to invite you to our second For Girls Only dance event, which will happen next Saturday. So if you're around, feel free to come and see for yourself. What I want to emphasize that we do all this with no funds, almost no funds. We are completely dependent on donations. And we already had around 15 events this year, only done through our voluntary work and some donations. And what I want to say with that it's not always funding that is the most important variable. You need creative ideas of how to overcome financial shortcomings and to actually make something out of ideas. And I want to say that ideas are just as valuable in the beginning, because usually it leads to more funding later. Your role, I have 3 challenges for you on how to be an active ally in this gender equality movement. First of all, awareness. Don't normalize and dismiss subtle harassment or inequality that we see every day. Educate yourself and others, and if there are problems to educate yourself, you can always come to our events where we do all kinds of trainings. Investment. It doesn't always have to be financial investment. You can also invest by volunteering or resources. And investing in education in your own universities and organizations are also really important. And innovation. Creative Shock is all about solutions, or at least I heard. How can your project or solution contribute to gender equality? Or, for example, how you could use Safe City data for some meaningful solutions. Key takeaways, what I want you to remember from this presentation is that gender equality is an ecosystem. Women's rights are human rights, and that inequality is a global, mutually shared problem. And Lygiosios is committed to fighting violence, inequality and silence through a blend of tech, education, and advocacy, and most importantly, community building. We are creating change in Lithuania little by little, and you're the ones who could also try and help us scale that impact. Every positive action matters and contributes to change. That is all. If any of this resonates with you, I speak better privately when I don't have hundreds of eyes looking at me. So if you want to know more about our events or how you could contribute, or if you have any ideas, please come afterwards. Thank you.
Thank you, Deimante. I think you did a great job in front of those 100 eyes. And yeah, equality is a very important topic nowadays. But thanks for showing not only the theoretical, but the very practical part of it. And now, to wrap up, to finish our conference, we will hear about something that I believe we all really like. We will hear a recipe of pancakes that is filled with a social initiative, that is filled with a big, big heart. Because now I would like to invite on the stage the founder and the CEO of Pirmas Blynas, Tim Van Wyk. A round of applause.
It's working? Yes. Hi, everyone. Thank you for the introduction. I am indeed Tim. And I founded social restaurant Pirmas Blynas. Now 7 years we're working. I'll tell a little bit about myself, and then I'll tell about what we do, how we do it, and I know it's the last presentation, so I will not make it too long. So yeah, this is social restaurant Pirmas Blynas. I am Dutch. In the Netherlands I studied social work. During my studies and after my studies, I worked in a bakery where we mentored around 20 guys with a disability. We had a bakery, we made cakes, breads, cookies, we had a shop, we delivered the products as well to restaurants, we delivered to Airbnbs. I really liked my job. During that time, I also met a girl, and she's Lithuanian, and we decided to move to Lithuania. Brings me here, this map you all know, with Lithuania with a heart, and the correct map of Europe, how it's supposed to be. So I moved here now around 9 years ago, and when I came here I noticed two things. The first one, that Vilnius is a very beautiful city, Lithuania in general, a very nice country. And the second thing was for me very interesting to see that I didn't see any people with a disability in the streets, not in the buses, not in the cinemas, not in the supermarkets. And coming from the Netherlands, and especially with the work that I did, I was very interested in where are these guys. On average, in each country, like 10% of the people have some kind of a disability. And to me, it felt like here in Lithuania, that was not the case. So I started to look, where are these guys going here in this country? Is there anything for them? Or maybe they just do not exist at all. So I found daycare centers, which you can imagine like a school-like building with classes. And in these classes, these guys, they can go to from 9 till 4, where it's like a daycare. So they have computer lessons, they do some art things, they are singing together, they have lunches together. In these centers, they really try to do their best, and they keep the guys busy. But what's kind of missing is funds, money, people for development. They're not really teaching these guys new skills, which is kind of the same as in the Netherlands. It's really similar. I've seen the same cases. And another thing, in these daycare centers, they are not in the city center, they are quite far out. And then these daycare centers most of the time have some fence around it, and the gate is locked, you cannot really get in. If you do want to get in, you have to press a bell, and you're more likely to hear the question, what are you doing here? Instead of, hi, nice that you came, please come in, we'll show you around. So from integration point of view, these centers are not the way to go, because it's hard to get in, and they're very far from the city center. With the experience I had from the Netherlands, I thought perhaps I can do something here in this field, and I can change the way that people with a disability are integrated into society. So I started to ask to go to ministries, to go to organizations around people with a disability, with the question, if I would start open a small cafe where we would serve a cake or cookies, and someone with Down syndrome or autism would serve, would this be interesting for the country? Would this be interesting for you? Because what I did not want is that it was like a Dutch idea coming here and me saying, this is a good idea, it should work here. So I asked this, and all the organizations, all the people I asked, they said, yeah, that's a great idea, you should do it. We will help you to do it, we will give you contacts, we will support you, not financially, but mentally and with making you known. So I thought, okay, that's great, right? All the social organizations, they are kind of waiting for this. But I thought, if I open this, I need to have customers too. So I went to do the streets, and I asked people if I would open a cafe where someone with Down syndrome would bring you the coffee, would you come? Would you visit? And do you think other people would visit? And when I asked that, around 80% of the people said, nah, I would not come. And when I asked deeper, why not? There was a bit of a difference between females and men and women. And the women mostly said, you know, Tim, if I go out for coffee, I would like to go with a friend, and I want to sit, and I want to feel very comfortable. And when I see people with a disability, I can feel sad for them, or I don't know how to talk to them, so I would not feel comfortable. So probably I would choose another place to visit and have my coffee. Most of the men said, Tim, don't open such a place, because when I go out somewhere, I kind of feel the need to say something with the waiter, to joke around, that he says something back, but I have no idea how to communicate with someone with a disability. Can I make a joke? What can I say? What can I not say? Will it hurt him? So I will not come to this place. Then there was one guy, and he was around 30, maybe a bit younger, and he said, Tim, don't open this, because we here in Lithuania, we are afraid of people with a disability. And that comment kind of shocked me. It hit me. And so I was talking also about this at home. And then I remembered that a comment that the mother of my wife, she's now my wife, the wife made here, the parents of my wife were against me opening this place. And her mom said, you know, Tim, when I was pregnant with your wife, so that's 35 years ago, the doctor, so not the neighborhood weird granny on the corner, but the doctor said that I should not look at people with a disability because my kid inside my belly would get that disability, as if it's transferable by sight. So that's 35 years ago. That's not so long. And that's kind of how people here were still being shown what is people with a disability, and that is kind of, that you have to be afraid of them. So his comment was really matching that what my own family told me the same. My idea after his comment was also that if I can show that people with a disability are not scary, that you can talk to them, that you do not have to feel pity for them, especially not when they have a nice time, great time working, then we can also very quickly change that whole idea around, and it might actually be a very big success. So, I tried to push through anyway, and the first decision, big decision we had to make was, do we want to do it as a business or an NGO? Back then, we're now talking 7.5 years ago, there was a lot of articles written in media that many NGOs were stealing money from government, from European funds. Many projects were started. 3 years later would be a check. Nothing changed, but money was gone anyway. And because people already had such a negative idea about people with a disability, my idea was we have to keep everything we do very positive so that there can be only positive story after positive after positive. So if we would, for example, then ask subsidies for 10 or 20,000 euros to start this, people will, that was my idea, immediately comment, oh, but he just did it for the money, he's just using the guys, or something like that. So we did it we started this as a business, which meant we had to go to banks, and we went to 3 banks and asked for funds to start. All of the 3 banks declined. Their reasons were quite acceptable to me. They said, Tim, first of all, you are a foreigner, which is a bigger risk for us to borrow money for. The second one, it's a food business. I think the numbers are still that around 70-75% of the food businesses do not run after the 1.5 years. They go bankrupt. And the third one was the social thing. They said, Tim, there's no example like this in Estonia, Latvia, Lithuania. It might work in Denmark or Netherlands, but it's very risky for us, so we will not support you. So that was a shame. I wanted to push through anyway. We had to adjust a little bit the plans. One of the things was that we rented a rather cheap location with the idea that we could at least pay the rent for a year and not be in a very expensive place, that if it would not, the idea would not work in the first few months, we would already be bankrupted. And the second one was that we chose for pancakes on the menu. So we already shifted a bit from just coffee to more like a real restaurant. As under I wrote, it has low startup costs. This has mostly to do with the pancake machines to bake itself. They are 30 euros. I thought if you buy 3, you're 90 euros. We can basically start the whole place, and it was true. So that was very cheap. Also, the food fits with the target group. My idea has always been that the target group is not so much people with a disability that I can employ. The target group is customers that can come in, show them that you can normally talk with people with a disability. If we have pancakes, very likely we will attract also children, 10 years old, 12 years old. And in 10 years, they will be the ones basically in your positions or are going to work. And they can change society from within the businesses to employ people with disability as well. At least they have seen good examples. So in 2018, we opened as first social restaurant in the Baltic states. So Estonia, Latvia, Lithuania did not have such an example. That said, in Riga, opened quite shortly after a bakery, where also people with a disability were working. They closed, I think now 2.5 years ago, unfortunately. So we're still the only one here. Now around 75% of the employees we have, they have a disability. Yeah. We did not receive any subsidies when we opened, and as I said, we opened as a business, not as an NGO. I'll go one back. When we opened, we had a lot of media coming in, from the TV, from the radio, newspapers. In the first week, the mayor came of the city. In the first 3-4 months, I think, the president came with his team. So there was a lot of support. A lot of people wanted to know what we were doing, why we were doing, how we were doing it. So that was really great. And here I always split my talk in two. We always have like a social goal and a business goal. So the social goal lifted off super quickly. Many people heard about us. That was really good. The business part went really difficult still. The prices we asked were really low because we thought we want people to just come in, not because they don't have money that they will not. I am not a businessman as well. I come from social work, so I really had to learn that part. Still have to learn that part a bit. And also the location was very cheap, but there was a reason it was very cheap. It was a very bad location. And one of the things that I always remember was that one day it was at night raining really hard, and the whole restaurant was underwater. So it was really bad location. We just couldn't work the next day because we just had to clean all the water out. So it was that bad. Also, because of that, customers did not really come, and we really had to think what to do. We were now like a year further. Will we continue? Will we stop? But I really didn't want to stop. Business-wise, we should have done that actually. But my idea was, we got so much attention opening this place. If we cannot do it, if we cannot manage, no one in Lithuania will try in the coming 5 or 10 years, because they would say yes, but even they, with so much attention, did not manage to break even and to make this as a business. So we decided to make just extra products, not for people just to come in, but for us to go to companies, basically. And we started with these Dutch waffles in the top. You see them, stroopwafels, for those who know the word. And we made like 50 a day. We brought some to some companies, also to this university, by the way. And then in November, there was a very big company, and they said, Tim, we tasted your waffles. We want to buy a pack for each of our employees, which was 2,400. And I heard those numbers, and I thought, we can't do it. But they said, yes, of course, we will do it, because we had to. When I hang up, I spoke to the team. We have to do it. What are we going to do? So we decided to close the whole restaurant for almost 2 months. I think it was 6 weeks in total, just to focus on these gifts, to make them. We made it. Everybody very happy. We delivered on time. The company was very happy. We received our funds. And with that, I knew we could at least pay the salaries for a couple of months and the rent, so we would be good through the whole winter. Then in January, we got a couple of messages from people from other cities, from the south, from the west, from the north. And they said, we received these packages, and it's great what you guys do. When we come to Vilnius, we will for sure visit your place to taste your pancakes. They asked, maybe you want to come to our city as well with such a restaurant. We would support you. We have contacts with the mayor. We can find you a place. So we saw that also from social perspective, these gifts can have super much impact, because those 2,500 packages, meaning that around 10,000 people saw, if I count that they are families, saw that people with a disability can make quality products. So from that year, we decided to make each year a new product. Now we have around 20, 30 different kind of products, which we either make completely in our restaurant, or we work together with other companies. For example, we roast coffee. We don't have the coffee roaster ourselves, but we work together with a coffee roastery here in the city. We go there once in 5-6 weeks. The owner of that roastery taught our guys how to roast the coffee, and we bring it back to our restaurant, which we can then say that it's our coffee. And a super big plus of these things is that our employees, they learn extra skills. So it's not just that they make pancakes, that they serve, but they now can also roast coffee. And this we do with several other products like this. Other activities that we do, we cooperate with other organizations. So also with these Christmas boxes, let's say gift boxes, we buy honey from a daycare center in Trakai. They have people with disabilities, they have bees, so they have honey. We buy it from them, so money also goes to other organizations. We do the same with, for example, these cups as well. They come from 5 different organizations here in Lithuania, and we can sell them further. We have lessons about Down syndrome, where we invite schools to our restaurant. Then we have a lesson with questions and games and a film, and we end the lesson with very big pancakes with chocolate. So for sure, it's a fantastic lesson for all the kids. We're now located in a different location, very nice, in the old town. It's inside of a church. It's still working as a church, so they have weddings. We do the champagne tables, as you can see here on the pictures. We also bring lunches to locations. I see my time is almost up. So, I'm going a bit quicker. That said, we now do receive also subsidies. I don't know, can I add 5 minutes? Yeah? All right. Sorry, guys. I said it would be quick. I'm not. So we now do receive subsidies. In return for that, we train 15 people with a disability in different kind of skills. For us, it's really good because we have some kind of financial security. Even if we would have a bad year business-wise, we would still survive. Then our achievements. We got several awards from the city, from the mayor, from the president even. Now, in the beginning of this year, we received one international award for what we do, and it's mainly because we have the business part in what we do. Most companies that, or food businesses, let's say, that work with people with a disability, they are NGOs, and they are 70 or 80% state-funded. We are, let's say, 20% state-funded. So even if the subsidies disappear or we will not get them, we will still survive as a business. But we are absolutely most proud of our employees. And I'll give one example. We have a girl in our restaurant, and when we were looking for employees, I thought this would be a very easy thing to find good employees with a disability, because my idea was nobody with a disability here works. So if I announce that we will open this restaurant, we will have many people to choose from, because everybody would like to work in our restaurant. That turned out to be really not true. So I asked 3 organizations if they would like to help me find employees that would fit in food business. And I kind of asked them, does it matter what they can do? I only need very motivated people. I will teach them all the rest, no problem. Then I got a call from a job coach agency, and they said, Tim, we have a girl, and until she was 5 years old. She could not walk, she couldn't speak, she couldn't hear. Her parents did a lot of practices with physiotherapists. They bought a lot of different hearing aids to fit to her brain. And then when she was 5, she started to crawl. She started a bit to walk later on. They later on found a hearing aid that fitted to her brain, so she started to hear, she started to talk. But in school, she was always this girl that was still walking differently, hearing not so much, talking weirdly. So no one really wanted to be friends, so it was always this alone girl. But now she's grown up, she was 23 at the time, I think, and she really wanted to work, but she had no idea what she could do. Her parents had no idea what the girl could do. The job coach agency had no idea what the girl could do. But they said, Tim, you said only motivation is enough, so here you go. There she is. So I said, okay, that's true. Come, bring her in, let's try. And in the first week that before we opened our restaurant, we had one practice week. And the last day, Friday, we invited all the parents to come to our restaurant to show them what we did, how we would work, for me to meet the parents as well. And her mom came to us, to me and the chef. We were standing next to the bar. And she said, what did you guys do to our girl? And we were both actually a bit afraid, because we thought maybe something happened. Most of the employees we had were guys, so we were a bit afraid maybe something happened. And the mom started to cry. And she said, you know what? Every time she comes home, she's smiling. And she's telling what you as boss told her what to do. She told her that she made friends. She was telling all the names and telling how the friends were treating her. She was telling what the chef asked her to do and how to make pancakes, how to make the dough, how to crush the eggs. She took the menu home in Lithuanian, but also in English. She didn't speak a word of English, but she knew the whole menu, every single ingredient, just because she was practicing every evening together with mom at the table. In the house, she would put the cutlery how we do that in the restaurant, not how at home they wanted to have it. She just changed the system because she wanted to practice. She was bringing for breakfast and dinner all the plates to the table because she wanted to practice how to walk and to serve. And in our place, she was, from day one, standing behind the bar, which is kind of management position in our place, and she was telling all the other guys what to do. So she was saying, you clean the toilet, you bring this to that table, clean that table because customers just left. And when the chef would send her a pancake to serve and she didn't like it, she would say, no, I don't like it, make me a new one. So that's a girl that 1 week before, nobody had any idea what she could do. And just by giving her the opportunity in a new place to just try and not being judged on how she looked or on how she moved or how she talked, she just blossomed into this cool girl that basically in one day just took over as in a management position, the whole business, and she could delegate others what to do. So for me, that's still an insane progress in such a short time, and it shows how much impact you can have, or you can make, you can create by just giving an opportunity to someone. That's where I want to end. Sorry for the extra time. Thank you all for listening, and yeah, thank you all. Thank you. Archie.
It's not easy to finish everything after such an inspiring story. As I said, it's a pancake recipe with a big heart. I think Tim proved us that. It was amazing to hear. It was an amazing ending to our conference as well. Yeah, time flies. The conference has come to an end. I want to thank you everyone for coming here. I want to thank you all of the speakers. Let's make some noise for Tim. He was truly, that was amazing. That was really, thank you. Just a very honest, very warm and very, once again, inspirational speech. That was amazing. But yeah, time has come to end this conference. Of course, I have to say a big thank you, and I want to thank our partners as well, our platinum partners from Moody's, and of course, Miglė, who delivered the speech, our silver partners, Cybercare, Oxylabs, and EY, as well as Linas, who was the first speaker here. And they're not only our silver partners, but also, of course, intellectual partners. A big shout out to our organizational partners as well, ISM, where we are right now, Valstybinių studijų fondas, and Lima. Lima is a Lithuanian marketing association that helped us evaluate the participants, one of the participants' cases. Thanks, of course, to all of the other sponsors that we have and that helped make this Creative Shock project and this conference come to life. Thanks to all of you also who joined online, and of course to Žinių Radijas for being our media partners. And last but not least, thanks to all of you for spending your Saturday afternoon here with us. Make some noise for yourself as well. Thank you very much. I hope you are leaving with some thought on your mind and most importantly, a desire to make a change, make an impact, because we really want that. So yeah, have a nice the rest of the weekend. Thank you very much. I'm saying goodbye. I was Lucas. I was the host of this conference. Thanks a lot, guys. Grab a snack on your way out if you want. Stay here, network, talk with each other. That's it. Thank you.